Hey everyone. Today I'm going to build a bridge from my Linux machine here on my desk or by my desk so that I can run another computer's Ethernet through it without being limited by a 10100 switch. Right now, the room has gigabit coming from the wall to your computer. The computers have gigabit Ethernet cards. But if you go from the wall to a 10100 switch, it gets throttled down to 100 megs, which is not good. So I'm going to build a system where I can use a spare Ethernet port on my host Linux machine to act as basically a switch so that I get gigabit from the wall to my host machine and then to my other machine, which is powered on but is disconnected. Right now we're looking at my main desktop Slackware Linux machine. And we have a terminal here. Let's see what we have for IP addresses. We should have nothing. I've deleted everything and starting from scratch. I shouldn't even have internet. IP address show. So here look at eth0. This is one that's up. I am plugged in, but I have no IP address. Okay, and that's not a big deal. And the network card on this host machine, it has four. We have ETH3, ETH2, ETH1, and ETH0. I'm just going to use ETH3, and that is the port where I'm going to plug in my other computer directly connected into that gigabit card. But I'm not going to do that quite yet. The first thing we need to do is create a bridge, bring the bridge up, add the network card that I have plugged in to the network, attach that to the bridge, and then later on we'll attach the ETH3 to the bridge, bring that up, and we should be good. So right now, let's just verify with TCP dump that ETH0 is connected to something. We have no bridge, but ETH0 is hardlined, so we should see some ARP requests or something. So TCP dump -I ETH0. Let's just see what's going on. Okay, lots of ARP. So it looks like we are on the correct network. We are on the same network that's going to Melicia's room. So let's cancel this. So ETH0. So right now, let's get to it and just create that bridge. What you do is IP link add, and we're going to name it just BR0. That's you might see it in tutorials or other manuals, and it's usually just BR0 is your first bridge. So BR0, and then you specify the type because it's not a virtual interface or another network card. We're just adding a bridge, so we got to specify type bridge. I believe that is correct. Okay, we can verify IP link bridge show or bridge show bridge link show. Okay, that doesn't show anything. Oh, because there's no interfaces added to it. So let's do an IP. Here we have an IP link show, and there is our BR0, the bridge we added, and it says it's down, right? We haven't added anything to it or brought it up, so let's just bring it up and see what changes. IP link set BR0 up. Okay, clear the screen. Okay, so it no longer says down, but it's unknown. Nothing's attached to it. It's not doing anything. So we have no IP addresses. We have one Ethernet card with a cable in it attached to Melicia's room switch. So let's add the ETH0 to the BR0. And we can do that with IP link set ETH0 master BR0. We're telling ETH0's master is the bridge. So it's basically saying virtually plug eth0 into this virtual bridge that we made. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's do IP link show and see what changed. And look at that. eth0, its master is br0, and its state is up. So if we TCP dump eth0, we should see some traffic because we are now attached to the bridge. So TCP dump -I eth0. Alright, we see a bunch of ARP. So we should be able to do the same thing with br0. Sniff br0 traffic and see what we see. Should be very similar. And there it is. Looks good. Okay, so eth0 is this host machine's main network interface. We have an eth1 left, an eth2 left, and an eth3 left. I'm going to use eth3. It's just another Intel port here. I have not plugged anything in, so let's just do a demessage. And I cleared this out earlier. Let's make sure it's still clear. Okay, it's not clear, but we can clear it. It just brought up some br0 stuff from what I just did. So eth0 was blocked, it's disabled, promiscuous mode, and I ran TCP dump. So let's do a demessage -C, and there it's clear. Alright. So I'm going to plug in PC number 2 in that drawing that I made. That is the server that is sitting on the floor, and it has power, but it has no monitor, no nothing. So we know very little about it except that it's running and it has a network card, and I'm going to plug that in to eth3. I think it's eth3, but we can verify here in a bit. So let me take this cable, and I just plugged it in. There's no lights yet. Okay, now we have one light. So let's do a demessage and see if my host machine found an uplink somewhere. So just do another demessage. Network interface card link is up at 1 gig. Awesome. And there it says eth3. So I chose the right port. Okay. So let's just do an IP link show and see what eth3 says. Look at that. It says it's up. Very good. So we have 2 network cards that are up, but eth3 is not added to that bridge. Otherwise eth0 is. So we want eth3 to be on this to access Militia's switch, so we have 1 gigabit traffic instead of 100 meg. So let's add eth3 to that bridge. The syntax was IP link add eth3 now, master br0. Oh, IP link set. My bad. IP link show. Okay, let's do a TCP dump on eth3 and see if we see ARP traffic. We should. Dash interface eth3. Looks good. So what are we missing here? We don't have an IP address. So even if I try to ping Militia's router, network unreachable. So we need to set an IP address. I'm just going to use DHCP, nothing static. Let's just see if we have any DHCP services running. PSFox, grep for DH client. Look at that. I got 2 instances of DH client. So I'm just going to do a kill all -9 DH client. So kill everything. Okay, nothing's running. Now I'm just going to do a DH client on the bridge. When you have multiple interfaces attached to a bridge, the bridge gets the IP address. So we are going to do a DH client -V just for verbose, and then br0. We're going to see if that bridge can pull an IP address, and it's probably going to go out eth0, but we don't really care about that. But that's probably the path it's going to take. So let's do a dhclient-v on the bridge and see what happens. Got a lease pretty quick. Did a discover. We got an offer from security1, and we act it. We are now 113, and this is a host machine. I haven't done anything with the computer on the floor that we want to go through my host machine. So let's just do an IP link show. BR0 should have an IP address. IP adder show. There we go. BR0 has 1.113. Awesome. So my other computer, so that'd be PC2 in the diagram, that is connected to eth3, but there is no IP address set that I know of on there. I have no screen, no monitor, no keyboard, so I'm just guessing here. But what we can do is just do a TCP dump -i eth3. That's the port that my mystery machine is plugged into. Let's just see what's going on. Okay, lots of ARP. Let's do TCP dump -i eth3 and then not ARP. Okay, what do we got here? Mostly broadcasts, so we can't really tell much of anything. Let's look for some more interesting traffic. It's mostly just broadcasts. So what can we do? We can use ARP scan. We know the network card, so that -I eth3, and let's just scan 172.16.1.0/24. Let's just scan 255 hosts first. See if it finds anything at all. Look at that. Found something. 172.16.1.72. It found this computer on that network card, and there's only one thing in there, so that almost has to be it. And it says it's a Hewlett-Packard, and this computer is a... Oh, it is a HP. So that is probably it. Let's try to ping that. And we're pinging pretty quick, 0.2 milliseconds. So what do we have? So we can ping that machine. Let's try to SSH into it. Okay, we are now on that other machine. So basically, it already had an IP address, and the IP address was on the same network as we are on. So there's no reason to do a release and renew on it. It's just going through my bridge. This 1.72 machine is going through my host machine and then going out through the wall without going through a switch. The next switch would be in Alicia's room, not in this room. So hopefully that helps. I made a diagram where I show how we need to bridge eth0 and eth3. And it was not that complicated. We basically created a bridge, we added eth0 to it, we added eth3 to it, we set an IP address on the bridge, and our other PC2 machine, our mystery machine, already had an IP address. So it's going straight through my Linux host machine, acting as it is just a switch. But it's on a gigabit connection rather than the 100 meg slower connection. And we can verify that with, there's a tool called ethtool. And we didn't specify anything, so we need to find what the interface is. 1.72, it's on eth0. So let's do an eth tool. I believe it's just eth0. Okay. Tells you all the supported modes, all the supported link modes, and where is our true speed at? Right here, 1,000 megabits. We're at gigabit. Awesome. So let's see. This machine's just been sitting here for a while. 50 days. Okay. Otherwise, my host machine, I think I restarted a few days ago. Yeah, it's only been up 11 days. So that's what we have going on here. We have created basically a virtual switch, a bridge. Just think of a bridge as a layer 2 virtual switch. That is what we have really done. There's no routing going on. It's all just layer 2 using network cards as a switch. So hopefully that helps. Take a look at this and the PDF of my hand drawing, and hopefully that helps bring some sense to this. But yeah, I think we're in good shape.